Oh, believe we're live. Okay. Boy, what an ordeal. Should we do it, Greg?
Let's do it. Hey, they call me Greg Fitzsimmons, Fitzdog, Grapefruit Simmons, Spike, the man.
I'm just Allison Rosen.
No, you're not. You're Alley
Okay.
Cat. I found out last week you're Alley Cat.
I'm also berry, as in
Also
fruit
berry.
and berry, because you're
Right.
grapefruit.
Yeah.
I'm berry.
Yeah. I mean, I think that maybe we should all be named like the indigenous people do it, where, the first thing you see. I was told when I was a kid, and of course it was probably a lot of misinformation, that the native peoples are named after the first thing that you see after the baby's born.
So you would be like Crown Royal,
And angry bartender. Angry bartender demanding payment would be my name.
Right. And I don't know. I just would have been like young mom.
How old was your mom?
24, which I guess was like fairly
my
average in
mom
those days.
My mom was 22.
Okay.
Yeah,
We gotta one up me, don't you? Welcome to Childish, everyone. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, we are doing this one. It's been a while. There's been just a clamoring. There's been an outcry. When are you going to be on YouTube again? When are you going to be on YouTube again? Here we are. It took us we're a little bit late. There were some technical difficulties, but here we are finally. And drink it in. Enjoy. I'm wearing makeup. Greg is not in his office. He is on the road.
Austin, Texas, the capital of Texas. It's a place where your Uber driver has to always talk to you about how Austin has changed. It's not like the old Austin anymore. It's like, yeah, that's right. That's how time works. That's how a linear society operates. Things change. I mean, they're obsessed with telling you that it used to be all flip-flops and cowboy boots, and now it's guys with, loafers on and dress shirts, and all these Californians have come in. It's like, yeah, stop resenting California, everybody in the country. I'm tired of, I'm a New Yorker, but you're as a Californian, I'll defend you and say, stop resenting the state that brings you all of your TV shows that you talk about at work, all the movies that you talk about in your relationship when you go to bed, all the apps that are on your phone, the phone, your produce, your military trainer, your SEALs are trained down in San Diego.
Wow. Really? You're a really ardent supporter of California.
I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. Venice pride.
We have a lot of things to discuss because we need to talk about your Austin trip. I have a lot of butt stuff to get to. But really quick. So on Upworthy Weekly, my other podcast, we did a story about this thing that went viral where this guy said that East Coast people are kind and West Coast people are nice. And like nice is if someone's cold, you're like, oh, you're cold. Whereas kind is if someone's cold, you're like, here, have a sweater. And I just wanted to know, since you're a New Yorker who lives in California, do you agree with that? That like California people are, polite and they say the right thing or they express empathy, but like it's kind of phony. Whereas East Coast people are more, gruff, but they're actually more decent.
Yes. And I would say in the Midwest, not only would they say you're cold, they would knit you the sweater and put it on you. So that's a whole other level of like, when you're sick, they'll make a casserole and bring it over. Like the Midwest, upstate New York, places like that, that's true caring because they don't have anything else to do. I mean, that's what it comes down to, I think, is in New York, people got a reputation for being rude, but it was because we're nice people, but don't slow us down. Don't walk slowly 4 abreast down the sidewalk. Don't get stuck in the subway car door as it's closing. Don't fucking put your hand in the elevator as it's about to close.
Right.
That's when we get angry.
I mentioned that having lived in New York, I began to be very frustrated with the way that people gather inline. I know you're an online person. I'm an inline person, but just the sort of dilly-dallying with like, come on, people. Like we are trying the lack of urgency anywhere else. I mean, oh my God. It's weird.
There's a reason why people come to New York. It's because it's an exciting place where dreams happen, where action happens, where you can make a lot of money, where you can feel vital and alive. But that's because it moves fast.
Yeah.
So pick up the pace, take in your surroundings, read the room.
The whole time I was there, though, I never felt comfortable driving in the city. That's part of why I liked it, is because you didn't have to drive. I think I drove in the city like once or twice when I had a rental car. And it always made me a little nervous. I did enjoy, I really missed, I don't love driving. I'm not a Farfignugan person, but like the times that I did have a car and I got out of the city and I drove, I did enjoy it though. And I remembered it, but like back in the city trying to park, and that made me uncomfortable.
No, the parking's a disaster. But when I lived there, I lived in Manhattan for about 9 years, and I had a Mazda 626. It was a 1985, and it was beat up and it was rusty and it was dented, and I did not wash it once because I didn't want it to get stolen. And I never had a problem parking. I lived in Chelsea back when it was actually easy to park. I can't
imagine a time when anywhere is easy to park.
Wait,
I lived in Chelsea for a little while too. Where did you live? This is fascinating for people who live.
Well, first I lived on 25th
in Chelsea.
and 9th, which was, kind of like the meatpacking district area. And then I was on 16th and 6th.
Okay. I was on 22nd between 7th and 8th.
Oh, that's FIT territory over there.
It was right by FIT. Yeah. Yes, it was.
Right.
And I heard someone yell, "Hey, pretty baby." And I turned and they were talking to a Yorkshire Terrier. I thought, you can't get them every time, You
cannot compete with a small dog.
I can't. You can't.
Yeah.
Yes. And added to the list. Okay. I just realized added to the list of, you got Austin stuff. I have butt stuff. And then I also have a little bit of kid stuff.
Okay.
In keeping with the show.
All right. So I'm in Austin. I did Tom Segura's podcast this afternoon, which was fun. Although I always feel like I'm getting in a little bit of trouble when I do his podcast.
Do you mean your mom's house, or do you mean Two Bears, One Cave?
Two Bears, One Cave.
Oh, nice. You were a bear.
I played the role of Bert Kreischer today.
Got it.
And, you just get into you get into topics that you start to go like, oh shit, is this going to get clipped up and put out on the internet?
Like what kind of stuff?
I don't even want to say it.
But the funny thing, Greg, is that you kind of love that. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. I feel like you traffic in that world in hot topics all the time, all the hot water topics all the time. So the fact that you're uncomfortable with this, wow, I wonder what you talked about.
It was bad. It was bad. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I like to be in control of where the line is, which is why I like doing a podcast with you, because you're safer than me. So I can drag you into bad places, but be in control. But
you are to me as he was to you.
Yes.
Other way around.
Yes. Right.
Well, I can't wait.
But it was fun. We had a good time, and his studio is crazy. Oh my God. When I think about my studio compared to his, first of all, here's how much money those guys are making. Bert just bought Tom a sports car for his birthday, a race car.
I feel like that's their thing, is like, and by the way, imagine if that was your thing. Like their thing is like, let me buy you an extravagant gift.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
That's what a thing.
And then they're also in a world where sometimes you don't pay for those gifts. Like a company wants a mention on the show, and so maybe they just give the car to Bert for you. I don't know. Or Bert gives
I see.
Tom for them. Yeah. But it's a gorgeous studio. It's like 7,000 square feet. They've got a conference room. They've got 3 different studios. They've got offices, edit bays, stages. It's crazy.
Stages like for live shows?
No, for like shooting social media stuff.
Oh,
but like green screen area.
How does it compare size wise to my old place of employment?
Bigger.
Like by a factor of like twice as big? 3 times as
No,
big.
I'd say
1.5.
25% bigger, 30%
Okay.
bigger.
So about the
Yeah.
same size.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, good for them.
I'm very happy for them, and they deserve it. They work their asses off. They're super
Yes.
talented, and they found their audience. People are wild about them. People that are their fans are like
yes, rabid.
Yeah.
And you and I both did their show when they were in a 1-bedroom back house in Redondo Beach, and they had a tiny bathroom.
I brought that up today. I said I felt sorry for you guys. I said,
yeah,
it used to make me sad when I would go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like charity.
Yeah.
Like going to do, like doing. Yeah. Yes, but good for them.
So I did that last night. I went out and I did Kill Tony. Tony Hinchcliffe has a podcast that he does live at this place called the Vulcan. And I did that, and it was fun because David Tell's in town. So he sat on the panel with me, and then Nick Swartzen came on stage and did a set. And then Dr. Drew is in town.
Nice.
And he came up on stage and did something. It was chock full of talent.
Nice.
And then I'm going to do a couple stand-up shows here with Rogan. And then I'm doing his podcast on Thursday.
Excellent. So how far is Rogan from the Segura studios?
I have no idea. I just get picked up in a car and they take me to these, because the thing is about these studios is they don't want to be recognized. So they're not downtown.
Yes.
They're like on the outskirts of town in nondescript kind of office parks.
Someone and for the very reason you're mentioning, someone shouldn't do this. However, I feel like a fun article in a magazine, like Spin magazine would have done this in the 90s, would be like your guide to the, new comedy scene in Austin. And then it would be like a fold out map. And there would be like, all the like little pins would be dropped in all the different locations. And it'd be like Rogan studio, this club, this thing.
Right.
What a fun, I would have enjoyed reading that.
I mean, it's not a big city, so nothing's really that far.
Yeah.
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 And then I come back Thursday night, and then I go on Corolla on Friday morning.
Look at you. You are really pounding the pavement.
I'm pushing these fall dates. I'm very excited about this new tour, new material. It's all about the Queen.
You are a royal watcher.
Well, I just can't believe that she's gone. I mean, it feels like yesterday that I couldn't believe that she was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can't believe she's gone.
I know. How are you adjusting?
Well, it's hard because I've had to change all my currency. I got all my new King Charles in Charge currency printed in my Royal Mint. And, I've taken down all of her paintings and put up Charles, like I had Charles oil paintings commissioned.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. No, I really don't give a shit. I only am aware of this because my wife is very obsessed with the royal family, which embarrasses me as an Irish person because they starved us to death and they've occupied us for 800 years.
Right. Yeah. Don't you feel betrayed by that?
A little bit. I tell her that.
Doesn't she have one of those Irish lute tattoos that you guys got as a family?
It's called a harp. Yeah, we each have we all have Irish harps tattooed on our bodies, the whole family.
So then what is she doing being so into the this?
It's like a slave mentality. Like I got to be careful even saying that because that's a thing actually, is that some Irish people have said, well, we were slaves too. And Black people do not like hearing that.
Yeah.
Because we were not really held slaves the way Black people were held slaves. We were indentured servants for a period of time.
There's even a movement to not use the word slave anymore. And
for anybody?
Yes. And I'm blanking on what the preferred term is. So hooray for me. Crap. I forget. There's a preferred term. Anyway, moving on. Yes. So I get what you're saying though. It's like
I definitely don't think that you can say in 2022, I don't think you can say they treat me like a slave at work. Like, I don't think you drop that into cocktail conversation.
No.
You
might though.
On the Tom Segura's podcast.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Greg,
Allison.
I went to the gynecologist.
Oh boy, here we go.
For my annual well woman visit, which is a new term. And we spent a little bit of time talking about the front business, but most of the time talking about the back door. Now, did you know that the age for colonoscopy has been lowered to 45?
Really?
Yes. And I feel like they are gatekeeping this information. I feel like they are being real quiet about it. And it seems like they should be trumpeting this information much more loudly. I don't understand why they're just like, we'll keep it on like a need to know basis. Like when, people come in, we'll just be like, psst, 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 by the way, you should be getting this thing. It seems sort of important to get this info out. And I don't know if it's because like no one's jazzed about having a camera shoved up their beehole or what it is. But now I posted an Instagram story about it. And like a lot of my friends have come out of the woodwork to let me know, oh yeah, they've done this. And I'm like, why is no one talking about this? Greg, have you had a colonoscopy?
I've had, I think I only had one. Was it one? Maybe two.
How was it? How were they?
It's fine. Everybody complains about that drink. You drink it and then you have a very cleansing experience in the bathroom for the evening. But it didn't bother me that much. I enjoy that. Feels good.
What?
Cleansing.
A ferocious shit evening?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
You enjoy that?
Yeah, I do.
Isn't it like pretty uncomfortable?
No, it's fine.
Really? Fun.
No,
Okay.
it gets watery pretty fast, and then you just explosive diarrhea, which I don't know.
It's reminded me of my favorite segment of ours. One of my favorites.
Explosive diarrhea.
Explosive diary.
Oh, I forgot.
Remember
about
the good old
that.
days?
Right.
Yeah, we got to bring it back. Yeah.
And then they give you drugs to knock you out, which is always fun.
That's like the best part.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And then they go searching in your colon for signs of life that shouldn't be there.
Well, look, I mean, the price you pay to find something like that early is very small. I mean, it's literally a lifesaver if they go in there and they find something early. Right.
So there was that. And then also, I asked him, I'm like, are you able to assess my pelvic floor health? And he said, yes, I could. And I don't think pelvic floor health was the word I used, but I've just been wondering, this is like a big thing that like ladies who've had babies, you wonder, is my pelvic floor where it should be? Is it lower? Is it, if I leave the room, is my pelvic floor back in the room behind me? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So, and it occurred to me, maybe I don't have to go get physical therapy. Maybe I could just ask him what situation I'm dealing with. So he, wore me like a puppet and said cough, which is interesting because I assumed he would say like bear down or something. So I know that you guys.
He wore you like a puppet
and said cough.
Are you saying he put more than one finger inside of your anus?
This had nothing to do with my anus now. Sorry. I should have alerted you.
Oh, you switched holes. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
There was, I switched holes conversationally. I should make it clear.
Because the pelvic floor can refer to either hole.
Yeah. Allow me to make something clear. I was just being scandalous.
Yes.
There was nothing in my butthole.
Okay.
As per usual.
As per usual.
As per usual.
Virgin territory.
As per usual.
Still got a big red ribbon across the front of it. And Daniel's got a pair of scissors he's waiting to snip with.
80 when I'm 80 or 90.
Yeah.
As per usual. It's just conceptual. Yeah. So he had me cough. Apparently it's not too bad. And then we're heading straight into TMI territory. It's my where I like to live. And I said to him that I have been feeling like nervous about straining because there's this sensation, and I hope other women who had kids will relate to this of like, there's this like boom, like, you know, when you're on a roller coaster and it like drops onto a lower level and you're like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah.
Or like a bike switching gears. Like, I feel like something's like dropping. And my fear has been like, are my organs falling out of my body? And he said, and this is one of my favorite things that a gynecologist has ever said to me, other than the one I went to when I was 16, who said, and this has stuck with me, anal sex, just don't do it.
Yeah.
He said to me, keep pooping. Don't worry, keep pooping. Meaning don't worry. I'm not pushing my organs out of my body. He's like, nothing's prolapsing. He thinks that feeling, that like the Law and Order chung chung sound.
Yeah.
It's my uterus.
Yeah.
That useless sack of rocks, my uterus.
Right.
So anyway.
Well, keep pooping. I mean, it sounds like Charmin has a new slogan. Keep pooping.
Keep pooping.
Nike had just do it.
Keep pooping.
Well, I had
it's what I needed to hear. Yeah.
We had a friend of the family who had a very weak pelvic floor, and she ended up pooping out her stomach. Her stomach came out of her rectum, and they had to shove it back in again. And then I think it was her stomach. One of her organs came out of her buttocks.
Oh my God.
And no, it must not have been her stomach. It must have been her uterus or something, because they did a hysterectomy as a result of it.
Jesus Christ, Greg.
Yeah.
This is my fear.
That's why I brought it up.
I know.
I want you to face this fear and realize she's fine now. And here's the great thing about it. She had Lyme's disease for many years, a really bad case of it, where she used to have to get treated for it regularly.
Did this cure it?
It cured it. The hysterectomy cured it.
Oh, okay.
And the doctor said, yeah, it's a really weird thing, but hysterectomies very often clear up Lyme's disease.
This is insane.
I know it is. That's why people listen to Childish. They're not giving this information out on other podcasts.
They really aren't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think here's the thing. We have some news. We need to talk about our good friends. Do we have some good friends to talk about? We do. But I also, given that we are broadcasting live, I feel like I want to just pop into the chat room and just take the temperature.
See what the temperature is in there.
I need to find the chat room.
Oh.
So yeah. Okay. There I am. People are talking about colons. Okay. Wonderful.
They are. Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I like to see. Okay.
Thank you to the people in the chat room for sticking around, by the way, because we started like a half hour late.
I know. And that was all my fault.
Not
Greg,
all your fault. No.
Tell us about Shopify.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody wants, it's a creative world right now. There's a place it's a marketplace for whatever your passion is. For some people, maybe you make sock puppets with little buttons on them. Maybe you sell used clothing. Maybe you, it doesn't matter, because now, we need a sound effect here. Do you have the sound effect all lined up?
I sure don't.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Hang on.
I mean, we don't have any other sponsors that make us do a sound effect, so we're not prepared.
No, but you know what? I could be. Give me just a second. You know what? This is going to be put in post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it in post. Can we talk about notifications for a second? Who actually leaves those sounds on anymore? Put in the sound effect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, besides that kind. That's another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. They make it like look, it's a time and a place to sell interesting things. Maybe you're a craft person. Maybe you're somebody that knows how to find cool vintage clothing and resell it. There's a million different ways you can start a business now, and Shopify makes your dream a reality. It could be vintage t-shirts. Maybe you sell those. You create an online store in your vibe. You discover new customers, grow the following that keeps them coming back. They have all the sales channels sorted so your business keeps growing, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks to 24/7 support and free libraries full of educational content, Shopify has got you every step of the way. It's how every minute new sellers around the world make their first sale with Shopify, and you will too. So look, I'm thinking about starting a business with my pins. I've got these Greg Fitzsimmons tour pins.
I love them.
I'm thinking about putting them online using Shopify. I looked into it and it looks like I can literally set this up in minutes and I'll be off and running, and you guys can get some Greg Fitzsimmons pins. So it makes it so simple. You can put yourself and your ideas out there, whether it's making ebooks, earrings, whatever. I mean, we've listed so many different options. I'm sure everybody's got something. When you're ready to launch your thing into the spotlight, do it with Shopify, the commerce platform backing millions of businesses down the street and around the globe. Go on, try Shopify for free and start selling anywhere. This is possibility, powered by Shopify. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/childish, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/childish and start selling online today. Shopify.com/childish.
Love it. Let's
Good
do some
read.
news.
Good, solid read.
Oh my God. You're a pro, aren't you?
My father did this for a living, and I like to think, I inherited the family business a little bit.
I think so. Let's do some news.
Let's do some news.
So get this, Greg. Have you seen those 4D ultrasounds? This is after your time of having babies, but they are magical and also horrifying. It's like the latest ultrasound technology. And it's where the babies, they really look like Flintstone clumps of clay. But it's like the most detailed imaging they have, and yet it's very it's not that detailed. This is not really part of the story, but I just have to get this off my chest. When my sister, who was pregnant before I was, she shared with us the 4D images of her baby. And I just remember being like, oh my God, her baby doesn't have a nose. How is she excited about this?
Yeah.
Like, her baby is so deformed. Not realizing that it's not that accurate. But anyway, okay, that's all beside the point. The point is, they did this study of pregnant women in England, where your wife is obsessed with, the changing hands of the monarchy. And anyway, they did 4D imaging of fetuses in the womb, and they discovered that when they fed pregnant women kale, the fetuses scowled, and when they fed them carrots, the fetuses smiled.
So nobody likes kale.
Not even fetuses.
Wow.
Look, I think ladies who do yoga tell themselves they like kale, but I think you're right. I don't think anyone really does.
Nobody likes kale.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the definition, because I'll be honest, having had 2 kids, never got that excited about the ultrasound.
No.
The nurse or whoever showed it to you on the screen was always like, hey, we can print a picture of it. Of what? It's like my TV can't get a signal. That doesn't excite me that's my baby.
Right. I did take all of the images, and they, and I have them in a folder, but I've never looked at them since.
Yeah.
Because once you get actual photos of an actual human, then these sort of grainy black and white blurs are not exciting anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good definition. If you could tell I'm not buying it though. I
actually saw the pictures. I saw the pictures, and they do look like they're frowning, and they do look like they're smiling. That's
really?
the strength of, yes, for real. That is the strength of kale. I mean, because they're not like they're not the tiny little fetuses that, people in the middle states are fighting for. These are like, almost born babies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see how old these babies are. Would be good if I knew that. The fetuses in the new research were 32 to 36 weeks gestation. An average pregnancy is 40 weeks. So these are almost born babies.
Yeah.
And they are, kale is bitter and carrots are sweet.
Yeah.
So the babies are like, Puh.
Very interesting.
So you would not. Do you ever have a kale salad? You live in Venice. I would think you would.
Once in a blue moon, if they put some kale in something, I'm okay. I'm not going to have a kale-based salad, but if they want to throw a little kale in, like if there's a bowl and it's got multi-grains and some kale and some avocado and some other things, I'll do it. I'll take it down. Yeah.
Where are you with pomegranate seeds? Or
love pomegranate seeds.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they're very I don't know, they're tart and not that fun. Like maybe a few in a salad, but
we put them in the salad. We keep pomegranates in the house. We scrape them out. We put the seeds right in the salad. Love it. Yeah.
My kids are super into them, but I think more for the novelty.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Can I tell you about my news story?
Please.
There's some baby drama here. And then there's Adam Levine grade baby drama.
Oh boy.
Earlier this week, Instagram model. Is that a thing? Instagram model?
Oh yeah.
Sumner Stroh alleged that she not only had an affair with Maroon 5's Adam. Why do we know Adam Levine? Did anyone ever care about Maroon 5? Are they really like an influential band?
I mean, he's got that song "Moves Like Jagger," and then isn't he on that show, on one of those America's Got Talent or one of those shows?
I'm so sick of people like Adam Levine who are dominating headlines. Anyway, so he cheated on his wife while she was pregnant with this Instagram model.
Sumner Stroh.
And then a few months later, he messaged her out of the blue with a totally normal request. My wife's pregnant. Mind if I name the baby after you?
Wait, my understanding, though, is that he claims that he didn't actually cheat with Sumner Stroh, Instagram model. He just sexted her. He just had flirtatious texts with her, right? Or did he actually hook up with her?
She says that she had an affair.
Okay.
With him.
Okay.
I think then maybe he said that he didn't. Who do you believe? The Instagram model or the
cheater? Right. Okay.
I mean, if you get a neck tattoo, you cheat on your wife. That's just, I don't want to profile people.
I mean, I can't argue with science.
Yeah.
Can't argue with science.
And he's ruined Maroon for me because I'm a huge fan of Maroon. Mike Gibbons actually gives me a hard time because I wear Maroon so often. And now he's...
What kind of hard time does he give you over Maroon?
For my birthday, he bought me a Maroon sweatshirt and a Maroon t-shirt.
But how's that giving you a hard time?
Because he says it's all I wear.
Oh. So he's like, here's all you wear. Here, have 2 more items.
Yeah, right.
What a prick.
What an asshole.
What a jerk.
And so the singer's wife, Victoria's Secret model. How do you cheat with an Instagram model when you're married to a Victoria's Secret model? I mean, that's a serious downgrade.
Yeah, really. I know. Well, I think because she got pregnant.
Yeah.
So that's like no fun. I don't know. I feel like when Victoria's Secret models get pregnant is when they're in the danger zone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like when your car gets a flat tire.
Yeah. This is very tangentially related, but you're a word person, so I think you'll agree. I mean, I think you'll appreciate this. Bare, B-A-R-E, and B-E-A-R. You know when you have a light in your house that's like starting to flicker and you know it's about to go out?
Yeah.
I feel like my ability to discern which one of those in my vocabulary is starting to flicker. Like I'm beginning to lose the ability to know which one easily I'm supposed to use.
But isn't one an animal and one is a state of dress?
Like, wait, if you bear, can you bear it? Is that always BARE?
No, it's BEAR. Can you bear it?
That's what I'm saying. Oh, like right. Yeah.
Oh, you're saying if it's used as a verb.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say like bear down on.
Yeah. Like what I do with my
Oh,
organs.
bear down on. I would think of, I think it's BEAR.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's flickering. I
Yeah.
used to know it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Right.
it's like,
All right. Here's one for
I'm
you.
losing it. Okay.
Here's one for you that might make you flicker.
All right.
Okay. If you're zeroing in on something, do you spell the word HO blank blank in on?
Oh, like, do you home or do you hone?
Yes. I know the right answer.
I never know. I think you home in on it,
That is correct.
but it feels wrong.
I always thought it was hone until I saw it in print
Be
just yesterday in the New Yorker. And I said, holy motherfucker, I'm 56. And I just found out the correct way to use that.
But if you're like parsing things, then you're honing, right? You could, because hone. So if you're homing in on something, but oh my God, my brain is not working. But hone is a verb. Yes. It's just, it means
I didn't know that.
I think there is a verb to hone.
Well, now you're one-upping me.
Because Tony Thaxton, my producer on Alice Rosen's New Best Friend.
You mean Tommy?
Was like going through a list of something, and we call him Tone Zone, and he's like, do you need Tone Zone to hone? And it cracked me up to no end because I love silly things. But it couldn't be, do you need Tone Zone to home?
No,
it had to be Tone Zone to hone. This is very confusing. Where were we? Adam Levine.
So Adam Levine, he wants to name his baby
Sumner
after her. And I don't know. It's very weird. Like, have you ever used the same pet name for a lover that you'd used on a previous lover?
No, but I used a literal pet name on my child because I had a rabbit named Elliot and I had a dog named Oliver, and my first child is Elliot Oliver. But I feel like that's because I liked those names.
Yeah.
And so those are literal pet names. But no, I'm not a big pet name person. Like Daniel, I think, is the first person where we have terms of endearment for each other. I'm not like you. What
are the terms of endearment?
I mean, just sweetie and honey. I'm not like you with poopers.
Yeah. Old poopers. Old poopers was on a tear on Instagram the other day.
Oh my God. Wait, your poopers? What was poopers doing?
Poopers is a little unstable.
What was poopers doing?
She's promoting a one-person show.
Wait, would I have heard of poopers?
I'll tell you off the air.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't know poopers was a woman of note.
Yeah.
How exciting. I feel like maybe you've told me who poopers is.
Maybe I have, maybe I haven't.
I'm not going to do it on air, but I bet I could guess who poopers is, couldn't I?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh my God. I can't wait for this show to end. No offense, everyone.
All right, let's get to highs and lows. We start with lows now because we want to end with highs.
That's right.
And I believe it's your turn to go first with your low.
Did I mention last week that my kids had hand, foot, and mouth disease?
No.
Do you know what that is?
Do you get it from your mother having a weak pelvic floor?
No. So I may have mentioned that Owen had a fever last time, but that was the precursor to hand, foot, and mouth disease. It is a virus that travels around daycares and preschools. That makes it sound like a traveling salesman. It's very contagious, and it starts with a fever, and then a couple of days later, a rash comes out. So Owen had a fever, and then our nanny pointed out that he had a little bit of a rash, and Daniel's like, I mean, first we were like, oh no, is it COVID when he had a fever? And then we ruled that out. And then we were like, oh shit, is it monkeypox? And then we started I don't even know, is monkeypox something you panic over? I'm unclear whether monkeypox is nothing or lethal. It just sounds very scary. So we started panicking over like, could it be monkeypox? And then once we ruled that out, we felt relieved. But then it was pretty clear that it's hand, foot, and mouth. And hand, foot, and mouth was going around his preschool. So he had gone to, his preschool. He had gone to preschool for 2 days and caught this. And you get sores in your throat, on your face, hands, and feet. And then Elliot got it, and Elliot got it even worse. So Elliot is doing so well in kindergarten and then they both missed school. Daniel and I didn't get it. Our poor nanny got it. We felt she had such a good attitude. We felt so bad, but she was like, it's an occupational hazard. Like she had the best. She had the best attitude about it, but we felt so bad. But she was thankfully like she didn't get very sick, and she thankfully was not that bad, because I got it in high school and I was like, it was very, very uncomfortable. But anyway, it was just like, poor Elliot had like little dots all over his whole face, and it was just it was stressful. But anyway, so that was my low. And your low?
Wow. I think you might have outlowed my low. That's
finally
terrible.
Thank you.
We had my niece and nephew died, and no, I left my door open. There's a sliding glass door in my hotel room, and I went out last night and I left it open, and I left a light on in the bathroom. And this is Texas, and the hotel is on a river. And so when I came home, I walked into the bathroom, and it looked like a science experiment. There was bugs all over the mirror.
Oh God.
And the lights, and they were buzzing around. And there were these green flying things.
Oh yes, I've seen those.
Yeah,
I've been to Austin. Yeah.
So
you're lucky it's not bats.
Oh, I know. That's right.
Yeah.
And then there was also these like crickets, these black, nasty hopping cricket things.
Ick.
I killed 3 of those. I killed about 30 flying green mosquito looking things and a couple other rando things. And then I couldn't sleep.
Because you're afraid of all the bugs?
I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm staying at a very good hotel. I'm not going to mention the name of the hotel because I don't want to slander them. But they are around year round, this hotel, all 4 seasons. And and it's not everything I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you get for staying at a Sheraton.
Yep.
That's what it is, right?
It's no holiday in here.
No. Are there 2 trees? Is it I can't do these hotel puns.
No.
I'm bringing you down.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my high is, get this, Greg. I am living my life again. I left the house to go to the gynecologist. I went to do therapy in person. I had Jim Florentine in person on my show. Oh, he says hi, by the way. And then I had, I did my Thursday show in person. And it's been so nice to do things in person again.
And we're doing the show on the intranet with your makeup on.
That's right. So I'm like, but I was almost thinking, and I didn't realize that you were at a Residence Inn right now, but I was almost like, we should just do Childish in person again. I'm like beginning to leave my pandemic cocoon. I probably will get COVID again, and then I'll be like, fuck that. I'm heading back into my own, butthole for another 6 months. But for a little while, I'm starting to, go out again, and I'm remembering how important it is to not be home all the time.
Hey, it is it's a really scary thing when you've gone to the baseline of activity. It's like, it's like you hibernate, you shut down, and it feels safe. and you don't want to go out of that again. But then when you start to remember, oh yeah, this is what life feels like.
Yes.
This is what it's like. I was out last night till 3 a.m. at a blues club with a bunch of people, and people were dancing and I was dancing. Yes. I haven't danced in a very long time.
Yeah, I know. And like doing my show in person again has just, because I talked myself into, and I mean, we're doing Zoom right now, but like, it's just, at times it is night and day.
Yeah.
It can be the group show, especially like,
yeah.
But then again, like sometimes on Zoom, it can feel really good, and it can feel almost the same, but just like, I don't know, there was something so invigorating about yesterday's Thursday show.
All right, let's do the next Childish in person. You have cameras set up in your studio now? 2 cameras? Oh,
I could get them set.
Allison.
I have them right. They're just, it's not. I mean,
literally 2 years ago, I was in your studio and you had the equipment. It was in the boxes. I saw it.
It's out. I'm staring at
it. That's good.
I could. Yeah. Wow. You know, it was going to be set up for the Jim Florentine show. However, Pete, hi Pete, who edits this, got knocked on his ass from the booster, and then we didn't do it. And I'm like, we'll do it for the next one.
Okay.
Do it for Childish.
Well, that gives you something to shoot for.
There you go. All right. What's your high?
My high. Oh my God. Last night was so much fun. Tony Hinchcliffe?
Yes, of Kill Tony from earlier in the show.
So he does these Kill Tony shows here in Austin. He moved here, and and they're very popular, and he gets a big crowd in this club. And so it just so happened that on a Monday night in Austin, Texas, on the show was me, Dave Fetal, Nick Swartzen, Dr. Drew Pinsky, and the guy, and I'm forgetting the other guy's last name. Ian is another comedian.
Ian Bagg?
No, not Ian Bagg. And then the guy from Pawn Stars, which is, I guess, set in Austin, came down. I mean, it was crazy. And it was just so much fun, shitting on people. We had all kinds of different comedians come on. And, you kind of roast the new comedians in a gentle, loving, supportive way. You don't want to be too mean to them, because a lot of them, like, this really is like a big break for them. And so you try to, give them some positive reinforcement as well. And there were some really good ones, but it was a fun night. And then we all went out afterwards. And Adam Egett, who's the guy that used to book the Comedy Store, he's out here. We went out to dinner first in Austin. We went to this really nice steakhouse, and I got probably the best pork chop I've ever had in my life.
Nice.
And it was a great night. Great night.
That sounds really fun.
And I came home to bugs.
That part doesn't sound that great.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like quite a high. Do we have an email?
We do.
Oh boy.
We have 2 emails, I think.
I love when we get communication. If you would like to talk to us, childishpod@gmail.com. And then also you can call us, and I'm going to pull up that phone number.
Tell them, Allison.
I'm going to tell him, Greg, 805-317-4243. Now, let's just say that phone number went by a little too fast for you. Head to our website. All the information is there. It's childishpod.com. That's where you go.
Wow. That's a good website. This one comes from Phil.
Okay.
Phil McCracken. I'm just kidding. That's like a jerky boy's name. Phil McCracken.
I like it. You know why I paused like that is because for a second I'm like, wait, is our website just childish.com?
No.
Is it Childish Pod?
Childish Pod.
You know what? Type in one of those, you'll get there.
Yeah.
And if you go to the other one and it's not us, just go to the other one.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, people. Okay.
Hello, Alley Cat and Fitz Dog. I love the pod. I have rated you 5 stars, of course. My son is in 8th grade this year, and I'm very preoccupied with when he's going to hit puberty. He has not yet, and many boys in his grade have. My concern stems from the fact that I myself did not hit puberty until age 16 when I was in 11th grade. This caused a lot of problems for me in terms of sports. I was decent until everyone got stronger than me, and socially, as everyone was into the opposite sex and dating, that was not on my radar at all. I don't want to have him go to high school without having hair on his balls. I realize that we aren't at that point quite yet, but what would you advise if it happened? Hold him back in 8th grade, seek medical intervention, do nothing. He also is really involved in sports, and I fear him getting left behind like I was. Thanks for all the advice and comedy. Well, Phil, you are barking at the right tree, because I hit puberty late as well. I think I was probably 15. I think I was at least 14, maybe 15. I think I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very concerned because I was active sexually at a very young age. So I was making out with girls. I was going to second base. I was dry humping. I was rubbing genitalia on the outside of pants and skirts and such. And yet I had no hair on my penis. So I was bluffing. It was a giant bluff, because if she had said, pull it out, let's do it, I would have started crying and run into the woods. And it really fucked with me. I also played sports. I played on an ice hockey team, and I would not get undressed and take a shower like everybody else after practice. I used to wear, you ready for this? I used to wear my jeans underneath my pads. And then I would play hockey, and then I would hitchhike home in the middle of the winter in New York with sweaty jeans on, because I didn't want anybody seeing that I had no hair on my legs or my penis. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it really fucked with me.
I did not. This is a lot of info for me to take in.
Yeah.
I had no idea this was, I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't exactly realize this was such a big deal.
Yeah.
My advice, and obviously I'm the wrong person to ask other than just being a woman of wisdom, would be, you gotta just let it happen when it happens and just be supportive of your son, right? I don't think seeking medical intervention is the answer, right?
And you definitely, my friend actually got into college and he hadn't hit puberty, and then his parents put him on something freshman year. And then he went through puberty late, and it really had an effect on him. It really fucked him up too. It's really difficult. I think probably.
Well, I think if you're really outside of the norm, then talk to a doctor and see what they have to say. But I think that like your kid is still well within the average.
Yeah, he's 13, and I would say most boys hit puberty. Like the worst part was, like, my best friend was Colombian, and he hit puberty at like 11. And he was hairy, and he had a deep voice, and he was strong, and I was like this little fucking skinny. I weighed like 90 pounds, and it was horrible. I did not feel manly. I felt emasculated. I was not as good at sports, for sure. So I feel for you. It's difficult, Phil. So I would say just tell your son, look, life gets better. This may not, in some ways, life is good right now. In some ways, it's really bad, but those really bad ways are going to change. And just hang in there.
You know, Daniel talks about this stuff too. Like as a female, this is something that it's sort of obviously like outside of my frame of reference, but this thing of like feeling like a boy versus feeling like a man. And as a mom of 2 boys, it'll be interesting to see how that manifests. Like I get that that's like a whole thing with dudes, right?
Right.
Feeling like a man versus feeling like a boy. And I don't know how to be supportive of that, or really how to even deal with that. I guess I'll just deal with it as it comes. But
I think, unfortunately, it's all up to Daniel. And I don't know when he hit puberty, but do you know?
Late, I think. Yeah, I don't know the exact age, but I know that he felt like a little boy for a long time. And he's talked about this publicly, so I don't think it's too bad to say this, but like he had a stepfather that really like pushed his masculinity like in Daniel's face a lot. And I think especially like because of that, Daniel felt like a little boy compared to this like strapping asshole of a guy who was like in the, just marking his territory in the house all over the place, essentially. So I think it like messed him up in that way a little bit. So
Well,
yeah.
All right. Well, All right, here's another note. This one's from a woman, which I love because we have both female and male listeners, Black and white, Jewish. I don't think we have any Amish listeners, and that's I think a goal of ours for the spring.
Yeah.
Or they what do they call it when the
Rumspringa?
Yeah, that's our goal for the Rumspring.
Yeah.
Dear Allison and Greg, thanks so much for the podcast. Your openness with your struggles with anxiety and depression have been much needed lifeline. My kids are the exact same ages and genders as Greg's. My son is happy-go-lucky jock, and my daughter is very similar to how Greg describes JoJo, brilliant, artistic, and sensitive. My JoJo was diagnosed with anxiety and depression in 8th grade, and in the last few years has been working with a therapist and a couple of different medication options trying to dial in the best treatment for her. I find it frustrating that other parents don't talk about anxiety, depression with their children, and I've often been at a loss on how to help my kids function with that illness. She's away at college and is doing well, but still has days where she doesn't want to get out of bed. I have sent her a couple of snippets of your podcasts, and the episode where you talk about switching up meds, trying new meds, really helped her, letting her know she isn't alone. If you have any additional advice on how to help teens with this, it will be welcome. Keep up the good work, Teresa. Well, that's nice to know. I would say it's never going. I think the main thing, you got to be honest with kids and say, look, you're never going to be happy all the time. That if you have depression, that it's a condition you will live with for the rest of your life, but you will learn to not go down as far with it and not stay down as long with it. And you'll realize that it's something you can very much live with. And it's the same thing with anxiety. It's all about management and finding tools, whether it's meditation. Exercise is huge and so underprescribed by most doctors. The first thing you should do for anxiety and depression is serious exercise, if your kid can do it. Now, I understand as somebody with depression that when someone tells you to exercise, when you're sitting there fucking staring at the wall in a coma, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's hard, but fake it till you make it. Force yourself to exercise. If that means taking a 10-minute walk, take a 10-minute walk and build on that and keep building on it, because exercise it releases endorphins. It clears your head. It makes you feel confident. You walk upright. You're out. You do it outside if you can in the sunlight. Sunlight is huge for depression. So I mean, there's a lot of things I could say about it, but I would say today I'll focus on exercise.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Allison, you got that look in your eye where you're thinking to yourself, we showed those motherfuckers.
I mean, I think we did it. And I've been hearing that they think we won't do it. And every time they think we won't, I think to myself, you fuckheads.
You fuckheads on Reddit. They've got their own thread on Reddit where week in and week out, they say we can't do it.
It's Reddit/r/they won't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and by the way, the podcast war that we started with that other podcast, are they still doing the other podcast, or did we finally murder their podcast?
I can't even remember which podcast that was.
The Always Sunny podcast.
Oh, right.
I think they've stopped doing their podcast.
They did? Really?
No. I think they're probably still doing it, and it's probably pretty successful. But I don't know if they're still saying, well, we did it, or whatever.
They're probably
it was.
Buying each other race cars right now with the money they're making on theirs.
It's their thing.
Yeah.
You know what our thing is? Doing it.
Just doing it.
Just doing it well when people think we can't.
And
Greg,
let us leave you with this.
Yeah.
Keep on pooping.
Just keep pooping.
Just keep pooping.
And also let us leave you with this. Leave us a nice comment. Click 5 stars, please. It helps the show. Greg, where might we find you?
Oh, New Orleans next weekend, October
6th
at the Howlin' Wolf. The next night I'll be in Lafayette at Club 337. And then Chicago on October 15th at the Den Theater. San Francisco Punchline, November 3rd through the 5th. Oklahoma City, November 16th, and then Tampa and Dallas, all dates available at fitsdog.com. Get your tickets now. See some live comedy.
I would like everyone to follow us on social media at Childish Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And then also follow me at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/Allison Rosen. And listen to Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. I just had Jim Florentine on. That was a fun episode. And then also check out Upworthy Weekly.
All right, we did it. All right, Allison.
We did it.
It was great hanging out with you. And I look forward to sitting in the same room with you and doing the next one. So let's do that.
Let's do that.
I'm Greg Fitzsimmons.
I'm Allison Rosen.
And we are
Childish. I'm still here. I can't find the God damn it. Okay. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. Hang on a second. You know what? Let's just quickly go over to the live stream and tell everyone, hey, everyone, thank you so much for watching our live stream.
Thanks for
We're going to end this.
watching.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to end this now. Bye, everyone. Thank you.